Good evening on a Friday night. Thanking God for another day clean. How He has kept all of us through meetings and conventions and everyday life living. I thank you, God. You know, we're going to open up giving God Almighty His props and His gift back from us to Him for having favor in all of us. Not just in one person, all of us. God, thank you for opening the doors that once we thought was closed on us and introducing us to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. We thank you for that. Thank you for not closing doors, how people have closed doors on us before. But I thank you for all of that. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. My God, to a shout out to all the treatment facilities, for all the women's and men's support groups, and for outpatient and inpatient, to the wonderful counselors and therapists, you know, who's helping and still continue to do that, is helping an individual get their lives back together and maintain how this program works and how this disease is real. And I hate this disease, y'all. Y'all know I tell you that all the time. But I thank Him for that. Tonight we wanted to talk about, it says, I thought about it when I was driving, how we all hid from our disease of an addiction for a long time. Our fears, our traumas, our hurt, and our pain. And I talk about that often because most people who is using drugs or alcohol is full of pain. But they have nowhere to put it. They don't know about this disease. They don't know about addiction. You know, only thing they know is how to get high or drink or pop pills to get through the next day. But, you know, we're going to talk about that tonight because I found a new way to live, and just like I found it, many of y'all have found it. Many people that I know found a new way to live. You know, I like this saying. It says, but even such profound changes aren't guaranteed to be permanent. Because we have this disease of an addiction, and we can always return to the way we were before. Now that paragraph was so open to where that's why we know that, you know, we can always go back to our addiction. We can always go back to our behaviors. We can always go back to the way we were before. And that scared me long time ago. That's why I didn't go back. Because I know I don't need nobody to tell me that I can go back and pick up at any given time, and you can too. So that's why we have to live a productive life with unity and peoples and meetings and conventions and so on like that. But this disease of addiction is horrible. You know, it's deadly. When I say deadly, it's deadly because it don't protect us. It only hurt and kill us. So that's why I tell you this disease of an addiction. Shout out to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. CA, Cocaine Anonymous. AA, Alcohol Anonymous. And NA for all the narcotics, all the drugs. You know, recovery is a blessing. Hey, Auntie, I hope you feel better. Think I'm coming down with something. Not been feeling good all day. But thank y'all so very much for being a part of my process. For me being a part of my process. You know, when I said we hid from our addictions for a long time, and a lot of y'all know we did. We covered up, we lied, you know, we disappeared, you know, we stayed away from people's until we wanted something. Until we wanted something. Thank you, Auntie. Until we wanted something. But I'm here to tell you that if it wasn't for us using, if it wasn't for our behaviors, and it wasn't for the disease of an addiction, all the ups and all the downs, all the behaviors, all the attitudes, all that plays in the part of the disease of an addiction. It plays the part. That's why we hid. We hid from not letting people know that we had a problem. You know, and I always realized that I have to keep a certain boundary. I do. I have to keep a certain boundary in all areas of my life. Hey, Auntie Evelyn, bless you. Thank you for coming on and supporting. Thank you so very much. You know, when it says we hid, you know, even my ancestors, even peoples before me, they hid a lot of things. You know, back in the days, we had to shut up and be quiet. We couldn't talk. We couldn't say nothing that happened. And a lot of people did that. And a lot of people started drinking and getting high and started doing things. But this disease, here and now, is horrible. When I tell you it's horrible, because it takes away. It just continues to take and take and take. And I've been seeing a lot of people that said they slipped or they messed up, slipped or messed up and bounced right back. I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud. I am so, hey, Michelle. How you doing? I am so proud of you all. Just because we slip and we relapse and that we get right back up. See, that's important. That's really, really important. Is when we slip or we know we know what it is to hide. That's why I said we hid from our addiction for a long time. Nobody knew we was on crack, cocaine, heroin, pills. Nobody. We had to hide that disease to keep ourselves continue to get high. You know, my auntie can tell you better than she can tell you that. Because I used to get so much money from her just to, I use any excuse to say, and so I could go get high again. And I know she proud of me seeing how I have grown through the years. See, most of y'all didn't see that part of me. You know, most of y'all didn't see the insane part of Renee. You didn't see that. But it says I had to write it down. We hid. Why did we hid? Why did we hide? Why did we disappear? Why? Because we was hurting. The addiction, the disease of an addiction, the drugs and the alcohol was our best friend. You know, we continued to use to continue, and it was our best friend. You know, that's why I tell you I stay to myself. You know, if I want to get out and go, I go. If I want to go to a meeting, I go to a meeting. If I want to go to a convention, I'll show up if I know about it. You know, but sometimes when you ain't in the midst like that, you don't know about certain things until you see it on Facebook. And I'm okay with that. Because seeing my friends have fun and seeing them living their best life like I am is a privilege for me. It's a privilege for real. Because when we hear from our addiction, nobody really knew what was going on with us. Nobody knew. They knew something. They might have had a tip to know that something was wrong, but they really didn't know what was wrong with us. They really didn't. You know, our behaviors that got so out of character and the things that we did. Hey, Stella, how you doing, honey? And the things that got so terrible for us, you know, but, you know, and let me tell you something. When I talk about the hurt, pains, and the fears and the drama, all that play a part of our addiction. That's why we got high. And that's why some of us, people's or family members still gets high and drink and smoke weed. You know, some people think that weed ain't a drug. I don't know. Some people think that and sometimes we get thrown back because people's trying to figure us out to see what's going on. But because of my recovery kicked in, because of the God of my understanding sent me to a place called the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous, I was able to figure out my life. When we become ready and able and willing to find out the answers to our problems, that's when we start to wake up. You know, I can't use no more. That's simple. I'll never use it. You know, and some days the Satan be on me like he be on you. Some days he come through other people. Some days he come through your family. Some days he come through your friends. Some days just stuff, situation just happen. But I have to always just chill. I have to always understand this disease of an addiction is cunning and is very baffling and is so powerful that I have to be alert at all times. So it says we hid from our addiction. Yeah, I did. I hid a long, long time. Nobody knew I was using. Nobody. And I started using when I was young. My mother didn't even know I was using when I was stealing liquor from the bars, the taverns, and taking it to school to get everybody feeling like I was feeling, and got suspended. I was something else. So when we as addicts go back and look over our lives and see where he took us from, where was the darkness, and then brought us into the light, because the Narcotics Anonymous is the light. It was a light for me. I can speak for me. The 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous was such a big light for me that I continue to keep on wanting to be in the light. I wanted to be the light instead of the darkness. And so when I started going into the meetings and getting a therapist and going to doing service work, everything started manifesting itself. Because I knew I had a problem. I didn't need nobody to tell me I had a problem, because the things I was doing in my disease of an addiction let me know. Being sleeping outside, sleeping in the car, doing the things, the ugly things that we did. We all know the story, and the story is a part of our process. And that's what I love about the recovery part. I love seeing our recovery peoples happy and having fun and being with one another. I like that. It does something to my spirit, because that's how I felt when I came into treatment. And coming into treatment has been such a blessing, because It have opened my eyes to the pain. It had opened my eyes to the fears, where I had fears. It had opened my eyes to the drama that I had been in the past and had to learn how to deal with in the present. You know, so everything is an A+ when you come into the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous, because you cannot lose with having God all in the steps and having God as a helper to help you maintain you getting back your life and watching you grow through the 12-step program. And I have grown. You might not know that. For the people that know me know I have grown. And even if didn't nobody recognize it, I recognize it. I see it. I feel it. I know it. The thing that used to send me to go get high, the thing that used to send me to hide, the thing that used to put me in that fear mode to where I just shut down and had this fear that I was going to die using. Having this fear I was going to get hurt out there in the wilderness looking for one more hit or one more drink or one more pill. You know, it's crazy because when we in our addiction, we don't see harm or hurt. We don't see that. All we see is we need to go get high. All we see. You know, I was thinking about how when I was using that first job I was really using, and I was working out at Sussex. And out there at Sussex, I would drive for about 40 minutes, you know, and I would go in, see this disease. I would go in the bathroom or go to my car and go get high and come back and and thought I was doing productive work. You know, my work had slowed down. You cannot be truly productive up under the influence of any kind of alcohol or drugs. You just can't. If you think I'm lying, wake up the next morning after you've been drinking and see all the damage that you have done. I'm talking about me, y'all. All the damage I have done, like wet the bed or waste liquor in the bed or broke some of my whatnots or can't find the money that I knew I went to bed with. It's a whole lot of stuff come with that, you know, using and forgetting and not remembering, you know. And so to wake up for me in my right mind, or for you to wake up in your right mind, should be a blessing. It should be a straight up blessing. Or to even go in your closet. Come on, Renee. To even go in your closet. And you got a mini, miny, mo. Pick any piece of clothes you want to wear. And look down and got many pairs of shoes. And I say this because when I was using, I would sell my clothes and shoes just to go get high. You know, just some stuff y'all didn't know that I did, but I did it all. And only through His grace and mercy has kept us clean. Going to meetings, you know, and then it says our fears. What was our fears? My fears was, you know, what was your fears? Your fears was, are you going to make it to the next year? What else was your fears? Your fears was, are you going to get sick and die? Fears, is anybody going to find out that you on drugs? You know, your fears was going to bed at night up under the influence of drugs and alcohol and wasn't sure you was going to wake up the next morning. You know, fears had me bound. It had us bound, man. Recovery has been the most beautiful gift that I have given myself in all the years that I had become addicted. It has really been a blessing because it makes me look at people different. It makes me look at myself different. It makes me not argumentative. I'll shut up in a minute. I'll be quiet in a minute. I'll walk away in a minute. These are things that we become grateful for because, and I always, my mother used to tell me, she said, Renee, everything that look good ain't good. She said, remember me telling you that. Everything that look good ain't good. Like all them times, in when I was kind of sneaking and using, I would see the go-go dancers. I would see all the guys come in, and they all came in a different way. They always came in straight leveled, calm. And then in about the next 30 minutes or an hour, everybody was loud and obnoxious and dancing and wanting to fight but to me, as a kid, I thought that looked good. I wanted what they had. And wanting what somebody else had that looked good caused me a world of pain. So now I try to be a leader instead of a follower. And that's what recovery teaches us to be too. A leader instead of a follower. Our drama. What was y'all dramas? Y'all know we got dramas from kid all the way up to the teenage years, all the way up into our adult life. We had drama, things that happened to us, things that was unfortunately did to us, things that we did to other people. So when you look back, when you kind of look back in your life and you see where you come from and where you at today, recovery is good. The disease of an addiction is still killing, stealing, and destroying people. And I had to, understand that this disease, you can be doing good for a while. You can be clean 6 years, 5 years, 1 year. You can be doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden, we forget. We forget. That's why I have to remind myself every day how blessed I am to be clean, and how who I'm around is very important to me. I come around for a little while. I let people see me. I go see them, but, I kind of, go through this phase on a daily when I take an inventory of myself, and I'm so proud of me. Regardless of what anybody else see in me or say about me or don't like me, I'm still okay with that because they don't define who I am and what we had to do to get to this part in our life to be grateful for. So I don't get caught up in all that. You don't hear my name in nothing. I don't get caught up in there. I'm sick. I'm too old for that mess. I don't get caught. I can still have fun without the drugs, without the drinking, without the everything. And I do have fun. But I take life more seriously now than I ever did before. I watch what I say. Or if I say it wrong, I have to catch myself. But we don't have to hide no more. See, that's the gift. That's the gift right there. We don't have to hide no more from nobody. We don't have to hide from the pain. We don't have to hide from our drama. We don't have to hide from our fears. The only person that we must stay away from is the drugs, alcohol, any kind of drug substance. I don't be around nobody who does drugs or drinking. It damaged a part of our lives that we had to work so hard to regain. And it's a good feeling. You walking in the room, you looking good, you smelling good. You got a little money in your pocket. You got a house, you got a little vehicle, you got some furniture to sit on. See, these are all the things that we are so blessed to have because it was a time when we didn't have it. Or a time when we had it, but we lost it all. We lost it all. I know I did. Let me speak for me. I lost some things I shouldn't have never lost. But due to my addiction, auntie, due to my addiction. And when I look at my phone and I see the emails and they ask me questions, I try to watch and give them the true meaning of getting to a meeting or going into outpatient. You know, because pretty soon they'll try to cut all that too. Because we're in the world of the unknown right now. And so we have to monitor our daily living, and I don't have to hide no more. I hid too long before. I hid. Because I didn't want nobody to know about my failures or my getting high or my demeanor or how it had changed. So I had to change. They say nothing changed. My friend girl would say, if nothing changed, nothing changed. And she couldn't have said that no better. If nothing changed, ain't nothing gonna change. You have to want to change. Can't nobody make you stay clean. Can't nobody guide you and help you. Only time we get the people that are around us that's trying to guide us and help us when we go into outpatient, inpatient, or talk to somebody that really know about addiction. But addiction is real, and this disease is real, and a lot of people do go back. But I'm so proud of the ones that don't stay there and just get back up and start all over again. It's okay. You're alive. You can start back all over again. And hopefully you can see where you messed up. Hopefully you can see what you missed. You know, and that's why, I tell you, that's why it's good to take a personal inventory. And I don't have to hide from nobody no more. I don't have to hide from me. I used to hide from me. And I know that all the people that's been drinking and getting high and smoking had to hide from somebody. Because we as recovering addicts, when we was in our addiction, we stole, we did whatever we needed to do to get another high or another drink. So it's a blessing when you can look back and see the difference within yourself. Now, how many of y'all can look back and say, look, I see the difference in me. I see how I handle myself when it deals with pain. I see the difference how we handle ourselves when it comes to pain. You know, and pain kept me getting high. The drama from what I went through kept me getting high. The hurt that I couldn't shake kept me getting high. Hey, who is that? Janice? Hey, Janice. Hope I'm saying your name right, baby. But, we come to a place in our lives to where when we get into recovery has taught me. I finally learned to accept who I am, and I finally know who I am. From all them years of running and hiding and hurting and in pain, I finally, through the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program, working them steps, have really taught me the definition of why I work the steps. What is my purpose to work the steps? To find out in the steps how to change something that I was dealing with or couldn't let go of, or how to change my thinking. And I just love when I get to myself and get away from everybody and get into the steps and start reading. So it's just so amazing. It's so amazing that a program, y'all, can help restore you back to good thinking, good health, good making decisions better. It brings you how to forgive over and over again. It teaches us how to love over and over again. So I come a long ways to tell you we don't hide no more. We as recovering addicts, we don't hide from nobody. It is what it is. We have came and played, fighting our own demons and going through our own things to realize it was for a reason that we used. It was for a reason that we had to go through that pain in order to get to this process. And this process, once you have learned how it works and this disease of an addiction works, that's why I hate this disease, because this disease tell you you're okay, you're doing good. You know, you got, people's calling you, you got views, you got people's watching you and looking at you, but you got to be careful all that too. You got to be careful. Remember what I'm telling you, got to be careful. Because sometimes as addicts, we forget that we are recovering addict, and anything that make us feel good, we down with it. We down with it. So you have to just be careful that I saw at the conventions that the carpenter's son was there, and I wish somebody had told me, because I would have went there just to meet him and see him. He a recovering addict just like me, just like us, but he's really doing the thing. He's enjoying his recovery. And that's a good thing to do. When you're in recovery, you can enjoy your recovery. Because I didn't get into a recovery to not enjoy myself in recovery. I wanted to know everything that it was about recovery and what makes recovery help us find our truth. And our truth is that we was once walking zombies, but now we are alive and doing well and feeling well and thinking well, making better decisions, living in better circle, in the area of our lives, being responsible, accepting our consequences, not letting things get to us because see, it was so many times that I know, hey Tina, how you? It was so many times that when I was in pain or somebody hurt me or I hurt somebody else, I would use. That's what I was used to. Going back to the same pain that caused me pain. So I would go back to that. But today, I look at life differently. Even when I have expectations on, like, say my children, if I have expectation on my children and sometimes they don't meet my expectation, I'm okay with that too. Because I'm surely probably didn't meet our mama's expectation. So I have to remember that. I always have to grasp back of what I done in my past when I was a kid. But one thing that mama taught me very well was to love no matter what. If the expectation didn't feel good to you or something hurt you, you still love that person. And now I get it. It took me 65 years to get here to get it. She loved, she didn't see no bad in nobody. That's the honest to God truth. And every day I strive to get like that. I just can't deal with anything that's going to keep me remembering things. I can't deal with that. Because we all done been hurt. Ain't nobody exempt from hurt. Ain't nobody exempt from pain. Ain't nobody exempt from the drama that they was in the past. And the good part about it, you found a way to get through it. See, you found a good way to get through it without dying and without killing and without hurting somebody. We carry so much hurt within ourselves, we had to find a way to cure and fix our own selves. And it ain't easy. Don't let people tell you that it's easy. It's not easy to look back and see all the things that I did or that was did. And I always you go back and remember the counselors and the different peoples that helped me along the way. And boy, it was a lot of good peoples that helped me along the way. They saw in me what I hadn't yet seen in me. They saw in other peoples what they hadn't seen within themselves. But honey, them outpatients, them meetings, doing service work, I did mine. If I don't ever do no more service work, I believe I do service work anyway. When I get on here, I'm doing service work. When I take a person to a meeting, I'm doing service work. When I answer the phones in the middle of the night in the hours, and somebody done use or somebody need me to pick it. So, see, I do the unseen stuff that nobody else sees because it's not really important to what nobody else sees. Is what I feel and how I felt about doing that service work. And what did it do for me is gratitude. Gratitude and being blessed where I can do it because so many people did it for me when I came in. You know, so recovery it's a lot of rewards to recovery. This disease didn't want us to win. It wanted to take our lives. It wanted to destroy our lives. But the God of our understanding brought us some new information, like 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. I thank God for that. I thank God that everything I went through, every turmoil that I went through, I just thank Him every day. Every day that I get up is a blessing. You know, it wasn't my will, it was His will to wake me up. And so when we was using, we hid for a lot of reasons. We hid for a lot of reasons. People don't believe that. We hid. You know, I know people right now that, you know, when they come around, they hide. And you know, I understand their pain. Because I was just like that. I was just like they were. And I can't never forget that. I never forget that I'm a recovering addict. I can't fathom even thinking that I can go to a party and take a drink. Or I can get high again. My high days is over with. It's the gratitude and the gratefulness that I feel that I found a program that really works for everyone, not just for me, for everyone. It works for us. And it'll show up on us too. When we do something wrong, you know, we have to check ourselves, lean back, get quiet, and then all of a sudden we realize that wasn't good, that wasn't right, and we apologize. It takes growth to apologize. It takes so much growth to say I made a mistake, or to say I lied, or to say I did that. I had to grow. And now that I have grown, you know, I ain't gonna say I try. Every day in my life is a new day. It's a new memory. It's a new thought. It's a new gratefulness. So every day that He allows us to get up and live is a day that we're going to think about something we did in the past or the present, or what we like about ourselves, what we changed about ourselves, you know. And I love the change. I love that I ain't got to go get high. I love that I don't have to take my check and just go and use and go get high and smoke it all up. And then come to start selling stuff out my house and clothes and shoes and everything that I thought had a value to me is a blessing. See, y'all don't know if y'all ain't been there. You wouldn't even kind of even start to understand But for the ones that have been using and hiding and isolating and disappearing and getting high for years, we understand. We understand what we went through. I have changed the way I look at things, the outlook of things. It is what it is. I can't change nothing. Anybody that's that's bigger than me, I don't get caught up in nothing. That's such amazing. It's such a gift and so amazing to me that I just slow down completely. If somebody say something I don't like, I don't say nothing. I just chill. Once you learn to become humble and you really realize what gratefulness is, then you got a better outlook. You got a better outlook on what gratefulness really is and what being a grateful addict really means, a recovering addict, because I was once the person that hid from everything. Hid from everything. My life was a turmoil over and over and over again. And I'm sure that anybody that used drugs and alcohol or pills or heroin or fentanyl or whatever, it's all a drug. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And sometimes being clean, we still got to fight through the demons that's still trying to attack us because we found the new way to live. We found that new way to live. I pat my own self on the shoulders. I don't need nobody to pat me or tell me I did a good job. The day I stopped using was my best job. I stopped using. I found out why I kept using. And I found out why I was continuing to use. I had to learn about the addiction, of the disease of an addiction, to understand the disease of an addiction will do us. It'll stir us this way. It'll tell us something over here. It'll tell us something over here. But until you walked in our shoes, and well, boy, I did some walking too. I did some walking and still walking. And I still have to fight. Sometimes when Satan try to come at you and you clean and you know that you've been doing pretty good, that don't stop him from doing his job. That's his job. I had to watch everything about me. I had to watch what triggers me. I had to watch what alters my mood swings. I had to watch how my thinking can change at any given time. I had to watch the way I relate to another individual. I had to watch how sometimes put the cotton in the mouth and just listen. I had to learn that, humbleness is the key. And patience open all doors. I ain't never been this patient in my whole entire life until I came into the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. When I just sit back and when I come on here and even speak, I just see the doors is opening. So many doors is opening. So many. And I'm saying, okay, God, this door is here, where you want me at. Just be still. He'll let us know to be still now. He'll let us know to be still. But I did say that I was going to talk about how peoples are still hurted because they relapse. I have about 4 people who relapse. And 3 of them was just totally outdone. And I had to go there, and they had to come here, and I had to talk to them and tell them that, in this disease of an addiction. That's why I like this story when it says, but even such profound changes, no matter how many changes that we make in our lives, isn't guaranteed to be permanent. Because we have a disease of an addiction, and we can always go back to the way we were before. And they ain't lying. They ain't lying. That's why you see people be clean 5 or 6 years, 7 years, or 3 years, and then they go back, and then and God allowed them to come back, and then they get another 7 years or 8 years or 10 years, and that might have been your last relapse. I just have to stay, I stay grounded. I talk to my high power. I talk to him on a daily basis. I visit all the joy. And why do I have the joy? It's because I let certain things go. I start letting go of things that I thought I can manage, control, and figure out. But sometimes it's just best that you just be still. It's just best you be still. Don't say a word. Don't argue with nobody. Don't try to change nobody. Accept people for who they is. It's up to you if you want to be around that person. If it's you don't want to be around that person. I don't like being around people that don't know who they are. Because, see, I was once a person that didn't know who I was. I was once that person. And I didn't even like being around me. I didn't like it. So I had to watch all areas of my life and always know that I could be one hit away like everybody else. That's why. But you always hear me say, I hate this disease. I tell myself that daily. The more I tell myself, the more I always remember that I can't use no matter what happens. I can't take a drink. And some days, y'all, when the pain get great enough, I still don't want to take no drink. I just have to open the doors and start figuring out, God, you need to talk to me. God, I need you right now because you brought me this far and I don't want to lose me ever again. People that use drugs, and we hid from our addiction. We hear from the pain and the hurt and the joy. We hear from all that. And now that it's a 12-step program that can help us identify how to restore the pain and the hurt and the joy, how to get up off our butt and do something about our recovery. Hey, you got to understand that. You got to want to do this thing, because, honey, if you don't want to do it, you will fail. If you don't want to stay clean and you want to bounce in and out, come in and out, and then go back, you won't make it that way. When I came in, hey, Wilma, when I came in challenging my own self. Because I knew something was wrong with me. And when I went into inpatient, the hospital, for 28 days, they helped me and showed me where to go and what to do. And from that day on, I ain't never looked back. I knew I was going to come out to be stronger, to be better, to be nicer, to love better, see, when you know who you are, can't nobody else move you. Can't nobody move me but God. Can't nobody else move you. And I tell y'all that because it's the truth. I've had so many things that happened that thought I was going to go back and use, but I ain't never going back to use. I just find me some more tools to add to the tools that I got. Recovery is wonderful. Recovery is the best thing that can happen to a person that don't know nothing about the disease of an addiction. And guess what? Some of our kids is dealing with the disease. Some of our nieces and nephews are dealing with the disease of an addiction. Some of our mothers and fathers are dealing with the disease of an addiction. You know, that's why I say you never know who home is going to hit, or who is going to kill, or who is going to destroy. But I'll never use drugs and alcohol again. No, no, no. I did too much of it. And I know what it's capable of doing to you. And it will take you out before you even know it. I ain't trying to keep up with no friends. I ain't trying to keep up with nobody. You know, I had God helping me, dealing with me with this disease of an addiction. And once I got the grips of it and understand that I got to give it all I got so I can receive all it wants me to receive, so I can build a better foundation within myself. And then I do that. That's why I can walk in there with my head up high. That's why I can walk anywhere with my head up high. No matter what you done did to me, what you done said. And you have to learn how to get to that place. So if somebody asks you, who are you? Who are you? What you gonna say? I'ma tell you who are you asking me who am I? Let me tell you who I'm not. Let me tell you who I'm not. I'm not that dope fiend no more. I'm not that confused person no more. I'm not that person that's angry all the time. I ain't that person that just want to hold other people's hostage for what they did to me or what I did to them. That's who I'm not. Let me tell you who else I'm not. I'm not that person that's going to try to manage and control your life when I work so hard to fix mine. That's who I'm not. Let me tell you about who else I'm not. I'm not that person that steal no more. That's not that person that use you to get to my own selfish needs. I'm not that person that belittle ones or belittle you because you don't have or you don't live the way I live. See, that's who I'm not. And it takes a lot to know who you're not. So when somebody asked me about a month ago, Renee, who is you? And it stuck me for a moment. And I said, who am I? And I had to think for a minute. I said, no, first let me tell you who I'm not. Then I can tell you who I am. I'm a person now that's patient. I'm a person that's still giving. I'm a person that knows their boundaries. I'm a person that understands and loves and unconditionally. I'm a person that understands that I can be anything that we want to be if we want to be it. I can understand the only thing that can stop me from doing anything is me. Oh, you want some more? Who am I? Oh, I'm the person that used to drink at every issue and every problem, but now I talk to the God of my understanding about it. Now I pick up a book and read. That's who I am. I'm the person that's more patient and more settled and more on a certain level to where I try not to let nothing upsets me. Y'all don't know what a person have to go through to do them changes. But see, when you in the flesh, you have to know that you in the flesh, but you have to also know that you're human before anything else. So I don't forget that part. I hear so much from drugs and alcohol. I hear so much from pain. I hear for so much from isolate. I isolated all the time. I ain't hiding from nothing ever again. I ain't getting high. I ain't drinking. So why do I gotta hide my life? I'm living the best life I've ever lived in my whole entire life. You know, I got the whole armor of God on me, and He helps me when I get confused or I get upset or something, or thinking I'm getting upset. Then He just take it away, because He know I worked hard to get to where I'm at, and I ain't letting nobody. I don't care who it is. I ain't letting nobody steal my joy. I work too hard for this joy. I work too hard for this, to have these smiles on my face every day. I work too hard for that. I work too hard not to let myself be free in all areas of my life. Oh, yes, I am. I don't have to prove nothing. See, this is what I love about the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous, because you don't have to prove nobody. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody but yourself. You know, some people still want to hold you hostage. Some people still don't like you because you clean and you know, you ain't doing the stupid things we was doing, saying the things that we was saying. You know, boy, when you change, you change. And I like the change that we make. I like how all my friends and associates can get together and laugh and have fun and include us in. Like, put it on Facebook and I can see and I can laugh and I can, you know, put my little input in and say, y'all look good. I mean what I say. You know, I'm so glad that all these people in my life, in the whole world of Narcotics Anonymous program, made a change because they needed to and they wanted to. If you don't make the change, you're going to stay the same. You ain't going to grow. I'm growing. I'm study learning, study understanding, study given to me what I always freely gave to somebody else. So now I'm giving me, and we nurturing us. We have to nurture us. All the ones that's clean, congratulations. All the ones that's celebrating your clean time. For all the ones that's clean, that's got birthdays, like Selena, happy birthday to Miss Selena. To me, that's looking back and seeing the change that we made is good. But I'll tell you a secret. I told y'all this before. If you go back and look back on the things I talked about, I always tell you, when I came into treatment, just the honest to God truth, and I started going to meetings. Listen to me, y'all. When I saw God was in everything, when I saw that God was in the midst of the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program, I knew I was going to win. I knew we would not lose. The same person that's in these books, the same person, 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program, the same person that wakes us up every morning is the same person I have a connection with on a daily basis. That's my number one friend. And I mean, he helps me. He helps me even when that dirty thinking want to come up in my head and he have to talk to me and I have to listen with an open ear to understand. This is why I stay clean. This is why we came in to the program. This is why. I see why now. Everybody's living their best life. Everybody going back to school. Everybody becoming lawyers or doctors, or everybody picking up a trade. Everybody taking boat trips. Like Angie and all them, Angie and them they stay on trips. And I said to myself, okay, so I'm finna get on a boat trip. Remember I told y'all that. I'm finna start doing something and going on boat trips, cause time running down. You get 65 years old. Come on now, I gotta do some more things before I leave this world. That's why I stayed clean. I wanted to see how much I was gonna invest in ourselves. Don't y'all wanna know how much can y'all invest in yourselves? Every moment matters. Every moment matters. So I just came to a part in my life to where I am so grateful for you all. I'm so grateful for me. I'm so grateful for the God of my understanding that have always loved me and truly helped me and guided me. And he still got control. He's still driving that steering wheel for me. And I'd rather him drive it than for me to start driving, because when I started driving, I started hitting and crashing and messing up stuff and not having no control, but when you got God that's over your life, he's over your life. And so I wanted to say I thank y'all. And so we was talking about hiding our addiction for a long time, and most of us did. If you're going to be honest, and some of us still are. To be honest with you, come on, Renee, some of y'all still hiding. Some people are still hiding their addiction, But I wanted to get back on here about what step we on Sunday. I love my steps, and I really gets into my steps. And we are on step 10, I believe. We are on step 10 before I get off of here. We are on step 10, and yeah. We continue to take a personal inventory, and when we were promptly wrong, promptly admitted it. I believe that's the one we on. But I go over these right and wrong. Okay, so we might be on step 11. Let me say, oh yeah, we on step 11. I just remembered. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. You hear me? With God. As we understood him. Praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry the message out. Now that's going to be a good one. I get really caught up in the steps, because I can identify with the steps that I'm finna get caught up to talk about, because I know what them steps did to me, and I know how it enlightened me to tell me that I am grateful to be alive and well. So y'all, thank y'all. So we on step 11, I believe. Yeah, that was step 11. So we on step 11 on Sundays at 2 o'clock. I thank y'all so very much. And tell somebody that you love them, because you never know when it's going to be our last time. Just tell them. Even if you have to whisper it and tell them or say it. And be nice and kind to people. Being nice and kind will win. Regardless of how people will talk to you or say things, you just be nice and kind. Because that overwins everything. Okay, y'all have a safe night. Talk to y'all on Sunday at 2 o'clock. We be on step 11. And thank y'all so very much for being a part of my process. Thank you for allowing me to come in your room, your living room, your couch, your bed, wherever. Thank you so very much. You will be seeing a little bit more. I'm getting some stuff together, so you will be seeing me a little bit more on here. Not for no hour, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I just got to let God lead me. And He's working on me. How about that? He's working on me. God bless you. Have a good night. Stay safe.